Hi, this is a project on Irish immigrants. So this is the pull and the push factors of the immigration. How they were pushed and how they were pulled to America. So first thing first, push factors. What pushed them? Well, to get that started, the biggest problem, the biggest problem of just a second, the biggest push factor was the British invasion. And the British people came into Ireland, and they conquered the lands, and almost 86%, they conquered 86% of Ireland. And people were forced to give up their land and their houses. So, and then the second push factor, what was it? The land. So the British people owned 86% of Ireland. So Irish people only earned 14% of the Ireland. So because Irish people only own 14% of Ireland, they were forced to rent or lease from tyranny landlords. And the landowners did not go easy on them. They they were mean, tyranny, as I said. So that was the second factor. That was the second push factor of the Irish immigration. And and the third, what is the third? Basically, the third is the British economy on Ireland. So British economy on Ireland made Irish people poor. So what happened was the British owned 86% of the land. So basically, they had the land to do business, and Irish people did not have enough land, so they were forced to get jobs from the British people, and the British people only pay them a small sum of money. So they squeeze everything out of Irish people, and they overwork themselves. They overworked Irish people, and that's how the Irish people become poor. And then second, I mean, this is I forgot, but and then another factor was poverty. As I said, the British people became poor. So the British people become poor. As they become poor, they did not have enough things to eat. They did not have enough clothes to cover themselves. They did not have enough material to keep them warm, and they did not have enough space in their houses to for their family. The space was very limited, and the food that they ate was potatoes. This is called a potato famine because at that time, Irish people weren't so poor that they could only eat potato. Almost every family in Ireland at that time was only growing potatoes, and they could eat nothing else because they have nothing else. They couldn't. They were not rich enough to buy anything else. So what they would also do is they would eat these potatoes raw. So if you eat the potato raw, it will last longer in your stomach, and which will slow down the digestion of the potato, and which will keep you um keep you longer, make you stay longer without feeling hungry. So they had to eat raw potatoes, and then people were cold. People were naked, hungry, cold, and their houses were not fit for a human to live in. In no way, in no way. So those are the biggest push factors of Irish immigrants. Now the pull factor. What are the pull factors? Basically, the pull factor is mostly based on rumors. Irish people, those who were poor, got letters from their family, friends, and their relatives. They got letters from their family saying that there's riches in America. You can you can do anything you want. As long as you work hard, you can be successful. So basically, that was the letters from their friends was the one of the main factor from of the of the pulled factor. So in the letter that in the letter what it says was it was the land of promise. It was rich, it was successful, you can get anything you want as long as you work. And and it was the letters were saying it was easy to get employment, and as you get jobs, it's you can become successful. And after that you can find gold, riches. And there was no tyranny or oppression from landlords. They heard that the landlords treated Irish people fairly. So basically those are the push and the pull factors of Irish people. And yeah, this is it.
The Irish found themselves struggling to become American in several different ways. One example would be they were stereotyped as a race of savages and at the same intelligence level as blacks. Another example would be, since sexual restraint was the only use of birth control, the large Irish families demonstrated a lack of control. The Irish also found themselves exploited as workers as they were seen to be slaves to American labor. The Irish not only found themselves exploited as laborers, but also pitted against other ethnic groups such as the Chinese for work. In the end, the Irish were seen as a mongrel mass of ignorance and crime and superstition as utterly unfit for its duties as they were for the common courtesies and decencies of civilized life.
During immigration and after arrival, the Irish people went through many hardships. Once they fled Ireland, they were put onto large passenger boats. These boats were cramped and the living conditions were harsh. Quote, "Some were dead, while others were sick, feverish, and delirious, scarcely able to turn in their narrow berths. Tens of thousands of travelers died during the passage or immediately after arrival." End quote. It is because of these harsh conditions that many died, and they had to sleep with dead bodies and got sick because of it. This is one of the many hardships that the Irish people had to go through during this time. Even when they arrived in America, they still had a difficult time adjusting to their new lifestyle. Racism was rampant in America during this time, and the Irish were no exception. They were treated poorly because of their background and culture. They were stereotyped as lazy, dumb drunks who had nothing to contribute to society. They were treated similarly to black people at the time. Quote, "To be called an Irishman is almost as great as an insult to be stigmatized as a nigger feller. Sometimes the immigrants were described as Irish niggers." End quote. This racism made it hard for the Irish people to feel accepted as Americans. It also made it difficult for them to get better jobs and to climb the social ladder. Overall, the Irish went through many hardships during their journey to become American citizens. This is not only due to their difficult migration, but also the social difficulties that occurred once they arrived in America. Thank you.